Oh, what the heck?
I think we're on air.
There we
Hey.
are.
Yeah.
Now they can hear us. What's up,
Hey.
everyone? Welcome to Fine, I'll Watch It. I am Smoking Phat J.
I am Matty Lapone because we still have fake names.
Oh, I'm still Smoking Phat J, though, I think.
I'm the boy. Am
The
I the
teen.
boy?
The
teen.
teen.
There you go, I'm the teen.
Ah.
And?
And I'm Rio
Hey, you showed up
Miranda.
this episode.
I showed up this episode as well.
Yes.
So we are here, as we are every week, to review whatever is going on in Nerd. We're currently in, what are we, episode 4? So we're in
Episode
the
4, Agatha All Along. We've caught up to the press previews.
There you go. We are in the middle of the Agatha All Along series on Disney+. This episode's called...
Officially, it's called If I Can't Reach You, Let My Song Teach You. Unofficially, it's called Titty Tape.
Titty Take.
Yeah, it's called The Road, and you see where the road is, man. You see where the road goes. It's amazing.
And it's
Yeah.
filled with titty tape.
I never wanted to be a witch so bad.
That path right down the middle of the road.
That's right.
You could just go right down the middle of the
Did I tell
road.
you?
And let this be a lesson out there for all you people that might be, any young folks out there that might be watching this and learning stuff about yourself. Aubrey Plaza isn't working with a lot, but she knows what she's working with, and she knows how to use her instrument. So it's an acting technique.
God.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
So
She's just a good actor. I'm just like putting it out there.
So we do get the return of Aubrey Plaza,
We
who
do.
showed up episode 1,
Yep.
highly sold as being a part of this series. So
Yep.
we finally got her back. I just want to go and say I thought it was a real cool way to bring her back too, like that very Evil Dead
I was a little
introduction.
mad. I was because I kind of liked that they were like, hey, we need a 5th and we got to do something, and they were going to resurrect, and I so wanted it to be Sharon again. I so wanted it to be the mom from that 70s show be
Deborah Jo
resurrected, and I was like, had it been her, I would have died. Like I would have loved it. It was interesting that it wasn't her. It's also interesting that she is dead, and she's been dead for an entire episode. So it wasn't just a throwaway death, at least as of right now. But yeah, it was a cool way to kind of bring her
Yeah.
in.
Also, I was right. Suck it, bitches.
What were you right about? What
How
were you
did I
right
say
about?
Aubrey Plaza would come? She would come from her dead body.
He did say that.
I was on last week's episode. Say she's going to appear from her dead
All
body.
right.
I think you even mentioned something before that in the episode 1 and 2. I think you said something to the effect that she was going to replace her on the road.
Yeah, probably. Also, I got spoilers if you all want to hear it later. So,
Yeah, I know the spoilers.
Oh, all right.
The pop spoilers?
yep,
Yeah,
go
okay.
Funko.
Go Funko. Spoiling actual characters' names?
Not just Funko. Go the toy
Yeah,
industry.
just toys in general.
Again, fucking Lego ruined Star Trek 2 Into
Yeah.
Darkness. So they were like, it's not Khan, it's a new villain. I don't know what you're talking. And then fucking all the Lego sets came out. Khan.
Well, not even the
all
Lego
over it.
sets,
It was
just
like, oh.
the freaking book in the comic shop came out because you got to order that shit like
Yeah.
5 months ahead.
You know what this continues to prove? That the Mandalorian had the best option chosen of all series ever. We're not doing toys until after the first episode airs.
Right.
We're gonna be so far. We're gonna be so far behind production of those toys, but we're not. We're gonna have to do an absolute no merchandise at time.
But guess what? It's not going to matter because they were ready to pull that fucking trigger.
Oh yeah.
Nah,
Oh, yeah.
man, fucking Jon Favreau and Cowboy Hat are just that big of George Lucas Star Wars fans that they fuck up the release of their own toy lines. Like that's a fan,
Right.
motherfucker. That is a fan.
So once we get done with this episode talking about it, if anybody else wants to hear the spoilers, you're free to let me know. And I'll
We'll get there.
give it away.
So like we say, this episode starts right off where the last one ended. You know what I mean? We got the teen recovering. We've got or recovered, and we have
Sharon dead on the
Sharon
ground.
dead underground.
No, she's above ground to begin with.
Was she?
Yeah.
Oh, she was. They were digging her a hole.
Yeah, they were digging her grave to begin with. Yep.
Yeah. I guess we should real
Yeah.
quick. We should say spoilers from here on out. If you're watching this, we're gonna go into the all of episode
all of
4.
I have a shirt.
If you don't know this from watching this
Yeah.
show, that's all that we
Yeah.
do.
Well, let's go around the room. What were your guys' overall before we get into it?
I wasn't here last week. I thought last week's episode was good. I wasn't like overly thrilled with it. I thought it was getting better. This week's episode, I really enjoyed. I enjoyed it quite a bit more. And maybe it's because I'm a little bit of a sucker for the musical stuff too. You know what I mean? But I thought there was a lot of cool things.
Tall,
Tall,
dark,
dark, and
and witchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I also enjoyed the episode. I enjoyed that they didn't spend as much time on this trial, and they didn't overplay it, because this one could have gone on a long time and probably ruined it. Like the last one, that seemed like the right amount of time for what they needed for that particular trial. This one, if they went any longer than what they did with it, probably would have ruined it and everything like that. But I enjoy the time they spent with it, and I enjoy the time that they spent after, just establishing the characters more and setting up things for the future.
Yeah, for me, this has been my favorite episode so far. I still have got some bitches and complaints about this, but the joke I was thinking like halfway through was like, man, it's very much the true successor to WandaVision, where I love everything about this show and I don't really like this show. So this is a weird one to review, but this is the best of them so far.
I thought you would have liked this lesser than a lot of episodes, so I'm really surprised you like this so much.
I love
I don't know why.
I love it when you go into that, when you go into more of your world of your characters. Like, I'm a sucker for that. So if our characters are witches, give me witch shit. Give me all the witch shit. Like, give me
So how does that compare to the last episode where they were doing potions?
Well, that was the thing. They did potions, but in the second half. Like, when they got to the potion stuff, this one, 10 minutes in, we've got a record playing backwards to summon the devil to give us a curse. I was like, there was just so much. It got to it.
You like that old gimmick.
But it got to it so fast.
Yeah.
And every time it took a moment to breathe, Aubrey Plaza was happy. It was like, it was okay. Like, no matter what.
So
he was like, oh, I don't know that I like this episode, but Aubrey Plaza.
You can watch this episode on mute, and it's still pretty fucking good. All right, like
there's a lot to see in this episode.
No, I 1,000% agree
And
with
the
you.
demon was cool looking too.
As a bi woman, god damn.
That team doesn't even know what he's dealing with in that set.
This whole
Joe Locke's gay ass doesn't even know.
This show's gonna be the Mummy, you know, like a whole generation exploring their sexuality through the Mummy. It's gonna be the Agatha All Along, because it was like, yeah, I watched that, and then I knew more about myself.
Sure.
Well, I liked the design they went with that demon too.
Oh yeah,
I thought the demon looked really cool. It didn't look
just fucking the curse is an actual demon.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, fuck yeah! Like, it was like, there were a lot of moments in this fucking episode where I was like, that is fucking perfect. So,
like, that's a cool Halloween costume. Like, somebody could be that this year.
Miranda, what were your
That's
thoughts
awesome.
on the episode, real quickly? As you take a drink.
Aubrey Plaza and the lesbian vibes. God damn. Goddamn. Yeah, no. But this was so fun. I freaking loved it. It was amazing. Again, we're continuing that whole vibe of the modernization of how witches are carrying into modern day. That's so cool. And realizing that her mother has been protecting her this whole time through what she thought was just garbage.
Hiding a protection spell in a pop song.
Yeah, smart.
And that way, every time it plays, the protection spell gets redone. I was just like...
So every time that everybody enjoys this, she is being protected. Like,
wonderful
that is
idea.
the best love story. And that's what made this amazing. Like, how do you not...
Lestat from the, the vibes where, like you say, modernization of the witches, you know what I mean? Like, them using the modern times like he did in that book. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anybody?
Well,
read
it
the
sounds
Anne
like we
Rice
all
For all
kind
you
of
Anne Rice
enjoyed this
fans.
episode.
For all you Anne Rice fans out there. There you go.
Uh,
Y'all are
uh,
gay too. Yeah, it fits.
So it seems like we all liked it. So let's go ahead and just focus on the stuff we didn't like, or this will just be James's 2 minutes to bitch. If everybody just liked everything.
Well, no, you
But,
always go first anyway. So
Yeah, go ahead.
It's yours.
Yeah.
We'll chime.
Man, these scripts still suck. Like it's like everything is great. I wrote down. I got so mad at a line. I wrote it. I went back. I watched it again, and the line is this, word for word. And you know it was all for you, and that makes you sad. And I was like, motherfucker. Like,
It's all for you,
again,
Damien.
maybe
It's all
witches
for
talk
you.
a certain way. Maybe witches talk dumb. Like maybe I don't know enough about the Wiccan world, but it's like humans don't talk like that. And is there nobody on set that's willing to just say like, "Hey, could we take another look at some of these lines before we record this?"
Well, that has to go with the spoilers.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't run into that too much.
Wait, can we make a new segment on the show that just is James's 2 minutes to bitch?
That is the negative portion of the show.
It's
So.
literally
you
the
just
show.
Yeah.
show Grandpa something yelling at a cloud
Yes.
while I talk. Like put that.
Yeah, like I feel like that should just be its
that's
own
why we let James
segment.
go first in this.
Like everybody else could be super thrilled with the episode. We could all love it, and then you just get James's 2 minutes to
Unless
bitch.
James likes it, and then everybody else didn't like it.
yes,
That's-
that is the rarest of shows.
Yeah, those happen occasionally.
Yeah. And then we do like a party horn whistle, and we do role reversal.
I did run up to a little bit, like that particular line didn't piss me off, but yeah, there's just a lot of these little aside conversations that were happening that they felt very clunky.
And it's a shame because I'm actually like every one of these actors is interesting. Like they really haven't given them anything to shine too much in, but like every one of these actors, I would watch a solo episode of any one of these witches, you know, where it's like, oh, this is the episode for so and so. Each one of these people has the ability to like knock it out of the park because they're talented enough and interesting enough that it's that it can very much work.
It's definitely the biggest drip feed of any program I think we've seen in a while. It's like just dropping little bits of information all the time, which doesn't detract from the episode present and does make you want more, but it seems like, come on, just give it to us. I mean, you want to compare it to, compare it to recent, the Acolyte, the writing on that show, and the forcing of, hey, here's some information that might or might not be important.
Yeah, right, but so much of that seemed to go to another show that we apparently are never going to see now, where this seems like it's leading to something in this story.
No, exactly,
which is nice.
Yeah. So yes, it is some clunky dialogue, but at least a lot of it is serving a purpose.
Yeah.
That we should have answers to.
I'm a sucker. I'm one of those geeks that's a sucker for like your lore and your mythology and shit. Like when we meet a new race and then we find out what batteries are for them and shit. So every time they get like witchy, I get kind of like I'm way more interested in the show.
Yeah.
Like when they were making the potion, when they used a chant to open the road and it turned into a fucking pop song, I still thought that was kind of cool. And in this episode, they do like multiple different fun witch. Literally, a record plays backwards and summons a curse.
Hey guys,
like I was just like I love it. I love all that. Like no notes, but it is one of my bigger problems I've been having with more recent Hollywood or media for profit, which is you guys have great ideas, but you don't always have the strongest scripts to kind of go with it. We were all in on Cocaine Bear, all of us. Then we saw it and we were like, well, what a fun idea.
Right.
And it's like, that shouldn't be, it's like, you guys have great ideas. You need to get some people in there who actually know how to, actually get people in.
I really hope
Raccoon
Raccoon is better.
Raccoon.
There you go. If we gotta write that one, that's
Oh,
great.
Yep.
I've never heard of it,
That's
but
great.
it sounds perfect.
But it's great because a raccoon could hold a crack pipe.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like it's smart. It's
It's
smart
fucking-
writing already.
Uh,
Just in the name.
Exactly. That's more based on a true story. They should have marketed it that way. More true. Come on.
Yeah. Be careful because
So after this, raccoon.
Is really a lot of it. I want to ask you guys this though: is moonlight and water the thoughts and prayers of witches? But it works. Like when they were like, "We need moonlight and water," I was like, "Okay, how is that a problem?"
I dug that. I dug that. Not all potions are 50 different fucking things, and I was kind of like
moonlight and water,
dude. And then she's, I fucking dug that part. Then she's all chanting to it and stirring, and I was like, well, here comes Last Crusade moment where they fucking pour it on the wound and it dissolves and everything's good. And I was like, I don't know. The last potion was 50 things, right, of all different kinds and stuff. So
well, the last
I was okay
one,
with
the
the
last
stupid.
one, the one thing from last episode that I'll comment on that I thought was interesting about the potion thing is how they used like the old timey names of everything, but then they had to be like, well, what's the modern counterpart to that? You know? What I mean? Oh, that's it.
Well,
I
talked about that. Did you not
No, he
watch
did.
last
I
week's
watched
episode?
of our episode of us. No, I was
Yes.
sick in bed. Sorry.
we don't watch each other when we're not on.
I'm disappointed because I talked
Okay,
about
well,
how
I'm gonna
cool
say
that
it's
was.
Also cool.
We're
We're gonna do a callback.
So here's the thing for that, James. In the last episode, the potion was the traditional, what we all think of a witch's potion being, all these different fancy sounding ingredients, along with something personal that has to be put in it to make it work. Whereas this seemed like, which was followed up by their conversation around the campfire, the more true version of witchcraft potions than just basic. Here's two basic ingredients, and this does exactly what we need it to do because we imbue it with some sort of other special power that caused it to happen. And it's like the potion in last episode seemed more like it was one of those fake stage versions of a potion as opposed to what a true potion would be, which is just the moonlight and water with some.
Yeah. Which I don't know. It did seem basic bitch or whatever, but I dug
Basic
it.
witch.
I liked that scene where it was just kind of like that's all we need, and she has a thing, and then we get the Last Crusade clean the wound, and so I was like, perfect, wonderful.
Except they use water this time as opposed to hydrogen peroxide, which they use in Last Crusade.
Yeah, looked cooler. in
Yeah,
Last
well,
Crusade.
they ain't working with that kind of money.
Yeah.
Disney does not have Disney money. Okay, Disney wishes.
It does not
I'm
have
sorry. I'm
hydrogen
pretty sure a bottle of
peroxide
hydrogen
money.
peroxide is less expensive than a bottle of water.
It's like 89 cents.
Yeah, maybe nowadays. Yeah, thanks Nestle.
Yeah.
Now I'd like to introduce our new sponsor, Nestle. Oh,
What do we think about the song? Obviously, this is a modernized road version. Yeah.
No,
I
James.
like the other one.
You do
better.
not
like
get
the
an
other one
opinion on
better
this.
too.
I got excited because I was like, oh shit, it's like the Buffy musical episode, right? Like as soon as or the puppet episode, like as soon as they start on a gimmick, I was like, you're all in 70s clothes. The set looks amazing. The costumes look amazing. I'm just gonna rewind to Aubrey Plaza a couple more times, and I'm gonna watch the rest of the episode.
And
then,
also
I
mentioned
promise.
Aubrey Plaza's.
You're just gonna jerk off to Aubrey Plaza a couple more times.
Then watch the rest of the episode. Then
It's
it's
real bad because Catherine Hahn had almost.
Me
the
too,
same
it's
one.
fine.
I did
No,
not mention her at all. Okay, because that was great as well.
Well,
Yeah.
we've seen Catherine Hahn's ass now, so there's that too.
That's true. That's true.
That's true. But it also, like, part of me goes, like, her willing to go full on buff, and who's ever designed these costumes, do you think they read the scripts and were like, okay, we gotta show a little, like,
Miranda, what was that movie
But
that
I-
Aubrey Plaza plays a witch, not a witch, and he gets naked in that we saw?
yeah.
There's
You
yeah.
can't put me. Oh,
I
you
figured
can't
you
put me
remember
up.
more. There's a
No.
movie that exists where
Not
Aubrey
right now.
Plaza plays like this nun or something from this royal sect in there.
Yeah. But I mean, this is in her wheelhouse,
Hey,
right? Like,
hang on, I'm gonna look
this
this up.
character is very much an Aubrey Plaza sort of character. Like, she can play this role just fine.
Oh no, she
And,
played the other character role just fine too. Just she fully make it in that one at least. So.
But yeah, the song was fine. I actually liked the
Welcome to the
I
Mr.
liked
Skin
the chant
Hour.
version from episode 2 better.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I agree. I was a bit underwhelmed with the song. Also, I want to point out that they like made the black girl play the bass. They pulled the South Park. They're like, you know how to play the bass. She's like, I've never held a bass in my life. Here you go.
Literally, none of them knew how to play instruments.
Yeah, none of them.
I didn't hear the bass or the guitar in the music being played at all anyway. Yeah. Aubrey Plaza looking competent in drums and not doing anything.
Yeah. That being said, well, she seemed to be hitting it in the right spots.
She was, because she didn't have to do it the whole thing.
James knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I will say though that like even though I wasn't overly impressed with the song, the scene, the way that it was shot, the way that it spun with the demon and the fire coming, like all that was great.
And that's like this is a 44-minute episode, and that's in like the fucking middle. Like, so that's like the climax of any other episode. And it was like, it was happening 20 minutes in. And I was like, where the fuck are we going, guy? Like, so we've already gotten to the rock song you set up, or pop song, whatever you want. And the curse is an actual fucking like demon flying around, grabbing people, snatching people out of windows.
Yeah.
Look out, they're coming for your wife. They're coming for your Aubrey Plazas. They snatch them.
Hide your wife.
Hide your Aubrey Plaza's
Aubreys.
outfits. Because these curses are just snatching them right out. I was, both was ridiculous and great. Anytime in movies when there is a curse, it is a whisper on the wind. It is camera movement. It is this, that. You know, it is nothing. Nah, motherfucker. It's a red-faced demon right above me. I was like, fucking. Which makes it far more interesting, I think. So there was a lot of that in this episode where I was like, oh, that's such a great idea.
Sorry.
No, I enjoyed the part about it where she basically alludes to it being an actual thing when she says that I feel lighter. Because it literally has been sitting on her the entire time.
Shoulders, man, looking right at her.
Flew off to attack the other. It flew off to attack everybody else.
Dematui.
Is that what you?
That demon that lives on top of your head that makes you do all the bad things. So, Canoodle Studios.
That's what's been happening this
just
whole
blame it
time?
on the demon.
Fuck.
Yeah.
They do so many homages, like these small little homages. Like I feel like even that demon idea, like I've seen that in a Buffy episode. You know what I mean?
Oh,
they had one where this kid
I
had this whatever, and it was like his baseball coach or whatever, like hit him, and so this.
Here's a crazy geek, sad old man deep cut for y'all. Jim Henson, the guy who created the Muppets, had a TV show called Storytellers in like 88,
Yes!
89, 90.
Yes.
There's an episode of Demons. I love it because there's a magical sack that you can put anything into, and a guy puts death in the sack, and then nobody can die, and everybody hates him. It's all these weird old folktale stories brought to life with fucking Jim Henson puppets. And fucking, who's that? John Hurt chewing the scenery until there's no scenery left. And,
what was the puppet dogs?
Yeah, and Brian Henson doing that puppet dog. And so there's an episode where they just have demons, and it's fucking exactly this cursed demon. It is exactly like the red face, the wings, and the arms, and the fire around it. It's exactly those demons. So it was kind of weird for me where I was like, oh my God, I think this is a Jim Henson Storytellers reference.
Well, there is another Jim Henson reference in the episode.
Really?
Yep.
Go on.
You wouldn't know because Latin. One of the phrases that she chants when she's reading from the book, all the Latin that she's spewing forth, One of them is, "It's not easy being green."
Oh yeah, that's right. I did. I remember that.
Yep. That is one of the lines that she says when she's reading from the book. So, yep.
There's tons of it. Like there's.
And my wife has just got into frozen shock of
yeah.
realizing that's what it is.
Is she frozen? Oh,
Yeah,
she's actually there.
No, she's there, but
Okay.
she just froze. She froze for a
No,
second.
I'm
I
really
like
good
the-
at acting.
I like the Charmed.
God damn
I
it.
like a lot of the stuff that they're pulling from Charmed a ton too.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of that feeling. I love the witchy lore stuff too. Just like you said, James. I really enjoy that stuff a ton.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I think.
Don't just say it was hard. It was hard to visually see on screen because they moved the camera so much. But in one of the interviews, Joe Locke said that set that they were on was actually a pentagram or pentagon shaped. So it was a five-sided room.
It did seem
Yeah.
that way.
So yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
also love the inclusion of the metronome being like the countdown. You know what I mean? Not.
I
countdown.
thought that was.
That was
Yeah.
brilliant. I freaking love that.
Yep.
Even our kid noticed that.
Yeah, man. There's just so much. God, the imagery of just him. What did you do in playing that record? And him holding it up with his stupid fucking face in the middle. It says "Play Me," and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like
that was such a lot of that was a Sam Raimi feeling
It works
scene. Yeah,
well in this storytelling of it, right? Like if it's the Evil Dead, the thing flying through the air.
The demon,
Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, no, the demon until it appeared was a Sam Raimi demon where it's just this thing just flying around.
Yeah. But that works in the witchy world, right? So I just all that stuff was just really fun to kind of look at.
We do have a moment with Aubrey Plaza and
yeah, we do.
a few moments with her and Catherine Hahn, where she kind of tricks her into saying some things, which will lead to some possible spoilers later.
Yep. I can't even talk about that scene without knowing.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So I guess we'll put a pin in that.
You guys can talk about the scene in the recording booth.
Yeah. What did you think?
Yeah,
what did you think about the scene in the recording booth?
If it pays off, great. It's just like the backstabby. I need you all backstabby is it's fine because that's like the kind of forced situation for the plot to go in. But I also would like. I don't know. This is a magical road that half the people on the mission didn't even think existed. Like, it's supposed to be hypothetical. So even though everybody's out for themselves and trying to fuck each other over, I would like to see more of a real human sort of situation in it. Even if you are a magic user, there's literally a fucking another realm. And if you go through a certain amount of trials, you get an ultimate power.
Yeah, but
and what does that
But
mean?
that's so. To me, it's like, okay, I'll use a reference that'll work for you. It's like if you found the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, James. Like like if all of a sudden you see a pot of gold sitting at the end of a rainbow, like you're gonna be like, holy shit, this thing is real. You've probably dreamt about finding it a million times. So as a witch, especially these witches who, from what we understand, they're all
now I gotta go beat the
hundreds
shit
of
out of
year old.
Warwick Davis.
Yeah,
Like, it's fucking.
How dare
if I
you?
find
You
a
leave
pot of
that
gold,
poor man
Warwick,
alone.
You hear me out. I am
No.
a fan and you are a gentleman. I will beat the shit out of you if I find that pot of
In
gold.
a second.
Come around me, Warwick. You'll
You
fly.
leave Warwick
You'll fly,
alone.
motherfucker.
He is
He's
a gentleman and a scholar. Yeah.
Glad we had that
Wait,
moment
to your comment though, not everybody's trying to screw over. Not everybody's trying to screw over everybody else. It's literally just Agatha that's trying to screw over everybody.
I guess.
Everybody else wants to get through it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all want to get what that pot of gold. What they as witches again. All these witches are hundreds of years old too. I don't know that that's something that I wish they would do a little bit more. And there's a little inkling of it here and there. When they're kind of telling some of their backstories, and like in this episode, I don't remember what the older witch's name is, but like, she seemed to be really affected by like the paintings on the walls, and the witches being killed and stuff like that.
It's great. Like all
The
that
Maddie LaPone
attention
one?
to detail with the characters is nice. It's just like whoever is creating the show and writing the show, you've got a long way to go on the dialogue, but like your attention to detail to the Wicca community is
Wicca?
beautiful. Like I don't think I've
Did you...
there's
To the
just been
Wicca community.
the Wicca community.
Wiccan.
Children.
Wiccan.
As a Wiccan,
Yeah.
see, I don't even know these motherfuckers. So it's like all the stuff, man. It's just been wonderful. Good lord.
Since I haven't seen it,
James's shoulders just got real heavy right now.
yeah, they did.
The Wiccans cursed you
There's a
throughout
curse
the
on his
land.
shoulders.
Better write a song.
Or in his. There's always been a curse on his shoulders.
So
Yeah,
so
my Irish
I
German
want
is
to
lack
give
of
my
pigment.
my
It's
2 minutes
called
because it was
skin
asked
cancer.
on the song. While I do enjoy the bass version of the song more, the poppy version of the song I liked, but you also got to understand it is exactly what they said. It is the most popular version of the song because
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
real world, would people care more about the poppy version or would they care more about the realistic
depends.
version?
If it was 90s when that like monk chant shit was going on, you know what I mean? That might have been where you hit it
Yeah.
right there, you know what I mean?
Return to innocence, baby. Return to innocence.
So they thwart the demon,
Mhm.
but in the process, the teen gets stabbed.
Yes.
He perseveres. He keeps playing that guitar though till the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they get, he collapses. They get out, and like we said, they heal him with moonlight and water,
Yep.
and gumption. So
Hey,
Grit and
does he
fortitude.
know some kind of magic
I don't
spell?
know,
And she
maybe
was belching
gumption's
it
more a
out. Like
warlock
it's like
thing.
it
I
worked.
don't know, whatever
He-
the feminine
He
version of that.
survived his saving throws for
He
death.
did, yes. He survived his death saving throw.
Because this is also a literal D&D game.
But we
that
do
is
have that-
played in real
yeah.
life.
We do have that a couple moments there. We have one where we're led to believe it is probably true that potion, which was never really bound, that it's a confidence thing or something like that, is my guess. And then we have this moment between Aubrey Plaza and Catherine Hahn,
Yeah, we do.
where we almost have the kiss, but we have her tell
Drop
Agatha,
a bombshell, which
yeah,
I
that's
don't
not
care
your
what she
boy.
says. I'm still.
Oh, that goes to another thing too.
Yep.
Real big in that part is you see something at the beginning and at the end of the episode. She gives zero fucks about Sharon being dead at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
No, who cares?
Yeah.
Fuck her. Or let's get a new Green Witch because we need to. I guess.
Mhm.
Very much affected by the teen almost dying.
Well, she's been that way a couple times through the series
Yes.
so far.
Right, but this is the most emotion we've seen her show in this whole show.
Which is why I'm running with the theory that it is her son, even if Aubrey Plaza wants to tell me it's not.
Well, the
I have
fact
an
I
alternate
didn't
theory
think
that
it was her son because it's
Sparta.
too big. And then when Aubrey Plaza said it isn't, I was like, oh, it fucking
Right.
is. Like because this is like she's the villain. We don't trust what the villain says, So it's like
We-
whatever the villain says, it's the fucking opposite.
we also get a
So like that for me was like the
We
nail
also-
in the. If it isn't, cool. But for me, it's totally her son.
we also get a really cool.
What if she loves her enough not to?
God, I want to
we
talk
get a
about
really cool bit of lore about the sigil stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In this too, that the witch that casts, she wouldn't know if she cast the sigil or not on him because it's part of the spell that the witch who casts it doesn't know
Yeah, because
that she did.
literally everybody gets blocked out. So
Yeah. So
And I love that the only way to kill it is when it has no power anymore. Like when you don't need it anymore. Like that was again, cool concept. That's a fun concept for a spell.
I really enjoy. That's probably one of the things that I enjoy. This feels like outside of the Marvel stuff. Like there's not even references other than to WandaVision and barely only in that first couple episodes, really. I mean, there's a few, like in Latin, they're saying something about a redhead and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like it's not like entrenched in that world, but it is in that world, and we're doing world building. We're expanding that world, actually, not just expanding on a storyline we already heard, which is what a lot of it is really doing.
So, thing I enjoyed about the first couple series from Marvel, and this one is bringing back, is that it lives in the world without feeling the need to directly tell you, hey, these characters are in this world. We know these other characters, yada yada.
Did you read about Captain America?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it reached a point in Marvel where it seemed like it had to remind you of shit that you should already know if you've been watching it for a while, and doesn't serve the plot in any way, shape, or form by throwing it in there at all. This has the allusion to WandaVision because it's basically a direct continuation from that. Has a direct allusion to what happened to Wanda in Multiverse of Madness, but doesn't force the show around that. It creates another show after it gets past the point of, hey, this is who this character is, this is what the relationship and how they're in this particular situation that they're in, and now we're moving forward with this.
And other than what a likely reveal we'll talk about in spoilers is going to be, it's not, or predictions, I guess. It's not dependent on any of those, even if it is a direct sequel of WandaVision. Like, you just need to know somebody took her powers away at the beginning, and this lady named Wanda took her powers away, and cool, we're moving on. This is about me getting them back. That's not much else to it. Anything else good or bad we want to say before we get into the spoilery prediction stuff?
I know we rate and then we do spoiler.
We're going to do that first, right?
Yes.
Rate.
We always rate first and then we go.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Let's get into the rating then. Let us know. Who wants to start?
James Kopp, you're giving it 3.5. Why?
I'll start. Yeah, I am. I'm giving it 3.5. This episode got 3. Aubrey Plaza almost got you a whole nother 4. Like, that's a way to sell an episode, my friends. They're watching that in all countries. We didn't translate it yet. Doesn't matter.
Oh, no.
It does not matter.
Hold on. This episode is not airing in China. At all.
No, definitely not. Not with the demons.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be
the really
a
cut,
good amount.
The really
cut
cut
is
down,
going to be a Pokemon.
The really cut down
version in China.
He's hoping for
that outfit is a Pokemon. It definitely is. It will be. There's 3 stages of it too.
Poca tits.
It might not show in China. There's gonna be plenty of people in China watching this episode.
Might not show in China.
Illegally.
Going to have clips on TikTok.
Yeah.
So that's
You do not need to translate it. You will enjoy it
There will
just
be
as much.
plenty of cosplays at
Yeah.
different cons for
Babe,
sure.
raise your mic again.
It's so weird with this show because it's like I liked a lot of stuff they were doing, but I don't necessarily like. I like this show more than I liked WandaVision. Definitely, like this is a dark, horrible, Wizard of Oz, going down this yellow brick road of dead, dried leaves. And so, but when they do it right, it's great. And when it's bad, we're getting into like Zack Snyder territory where I'm just like, guys,
whoa, that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Hey, hold up,
can
babe.
we get a comparison
Babe, raise
of
your-
James's
babe.
scores of
Miranda,
WandaVision to this
raise your
show?
mic some. Raise your mic some.
Raise your mic up a
What?
little bit. We're having trouble here.
Back towards your mouth.
Yeah, we'll have to do
sorry.
that. We'll have to see what our comparisons throughout. So what are you rating it?
I am rating it. There's no quarters, so I'm gonna go 4.5. Just because I did enjoy this episode more than I did the previous episode. The previous episode was 4. I mean, this show has been consistently good for me, and
This is its best episode so
Yeah.
far. Like
it continues to build upon everything else. There was something I wanted to mention in let's talk about good and bad stuff of the episode. I feel bad for the set decorators. No. There is a specific detail that was picked up on. I realized, oh no, that is true. The leaves on the ground are the color of the trial they're going to.
Yeah.
Which means somebody literally had to clear off the entire set of leaves to reset it.
Well, they didn't. They changed the color and the fucking.
They did not do it in
later.
post. They did not do it in post. Those are all practical. They literally had to change the entire layout of the set for the color of the leaves and everything else like that. So, but it helps.
All the sets are so beautiful. I actually rewind 2 scenes so I could watch. Like, there's one scene where, like, in the background, there's a tree with like glowing roots, and I was just like, "What? Who the fuck built this? Or like, where did you do this? How did it happen?" So I was like rewinding it just to kind of look at some of those sets.
It's the greatest. It's the greatest practical Wizard of Oz set of modern time.
Miranda,
Wonderful.
what are you giving this episode?
I am giving this a 5.
Yeah.
The attention to detail, Aubrey Plaza.
You just said that twice.
Also,
Attention to detail.
you guys,
Yeah.
I understand that, but it was a 4.5, and then you guys pointed out some of the most amazing parts of this episode, which was just everything. Like they put everything into this, and it was beautiful, and the heart was in there, and they spoke to people, and tears were shed, and I feel like the color and the atmosphere and everything for every one of the characters was just in this. And boob tape, they spared none, and Aubrey Plaza was just yeah, it was amazing. I loved it. This was the best episode by far.
I'm going to say, like last week, I probably would have gave it. I think I gave a 4 for the first two. I would have gave a 3.5 for last week, and this week goes back to a 4 for me.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to more. Yeah, I mean, I like the show. How many episodes is the show again?
9. So
9.
we got 5 more episodes.
So we're about halfway point, halfway next week. Okay, well, let's get into. James is 3.5.
James 3.5.
I did 3.5.
Oh no, I told everybody what the score was gonna be.
Yeah, it was
James, if nothing else, is predictable.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so yeah, let's go into it now. Before we get into it,
Yeah.
you guys, what are your predictions?
Thoughts,
Or
predictions?
do you have any predictions, rather?
That are anything different than what we've said, what's been said before.
Did this?
This is for you. This is for you and you two, James and Miranda.
Yeah, James and Miranda.
I honestly, I'm gonna go smoking Phat J with this. I gotta say, it's Mephisto at the end, and the road. They're gonna get their powers, but in doing that, it's gonna release Mephisto on Earth.
Okay.
Like, I think they're gonna go like, hey, we're gonna do
Ironheart is
something.
the
The end of
direct sequel to
WandaVision
this.
had kind of like
Possibly.
the end of WandaVision had kind of like a
nothing to refute
big
it.
thing that would affect everything
Mhm.
else, which they didn't really touch until Doctor Strange 2, and I think that's what we're going to get at the end of this.
I have nothing to refute it, so that's a good thought.
Good. Miranda, anything in this episode change?
I feel like we're gonna get a curveball. I feel like this child is not gonna be exactly what we thought. I think it's gonna be a reincarnation of something that is not what we thought it was gonna be. I think Aubrey's gonna be correct. Like, this is gonna be a manifestation of something that it isn't, because like Wanda, she is going through a lot of pain, and she wants us to be something, and it's not going to be that, because she's trying to hold on to something, and if she feels like that's who he is, it makes you feel better somehow, even if she feels like it's bonded from herself and she can't see who it is. It brings some sort of comfort knowing that that is who that is. And she's going to find out, nope, she built some sort of construct that isn't him.
Okay.
And it's going to devastate her, and it's going to be really, really hard for her to deal
I don't know
with.
the answer. I'm still with the thought that Teen is her son, in some way. Again, I don't know that answer. That's not the spoiler that we have.
Okay, but I do want to make one comment on that, because I think that you're on to something because I think the curveball is going to be something right out of the comics, likely. Because when Wanda's, similar things that have happened with Wanda's kids happen in WandaVision. She created her kids. Well, in that Mephisto, that's why everybody created the kids. But in this, she created her kids. They went away, but then they were reincarnated into the Marvel Universe in the bodies of other kids.
Yeah.
But they were her kids, weird comic shit. You know what I mean? It happens. So I think there's a possibility that this is both Wanda and Agatha's kid. I think there's a possibility that it is reincarnated Billy in
reconstructed
in Agatha's
reconstructed Nicholas.
Yes.
Scratch.
Do we want to take bets if they make Mephisto Agatha's kid?
Ooh. Mephisto. That's what your money
Make her the mother of the devil?
Well, the fact that they brought him up, I would say that's not going to be the case. I think Mephisto still is its own separate entity in it and everything like that. So, yeah.
Mephisto very well might be running the game here, though.
Totally.
We'll.
All right. So
that's your wild allegation.
That would be a fun. If Agatha the character, if we're looking to build them up, then making them like the mother of the devil or something might be like really fucking badass. I don't know. But also having him be the puppet master and her just getting a story where we're finding her getting her true power at the end of the road. That's a great story too. So I'm
okay.
All right,
so Funko Pop.
So who wants to hear the spoiler?
I mean, you're gonna hear it anyways.
Go ahead.
If you don't want to hear the spoilers,
babe, do you want to hear it? Okay.
Let's go.
Rio Vidal. First off, the name is a false name. Rio Vidal basically means River of Life. What would that be relating to? Her character, as revealed by Funko Pop, is the once and former wife of comic Deadpool, Lady Death herself.
Okay.
She is there to collect the other witches' souls.
Yeah, the bodies. Remember there was that reference of that.
Yeah.
I get my bodies.
So her relationship with Agatha had an affair with Death.
Not to mention.
Oh, we all did at one point.
Yeah,
I definitely would.
Well, I mean,
Jesus
just like
Christ.
But there's also that moment when she turns to, and this was a very Wanda moment, like with Sharon and Wanda in WandaVision, is she turns to Rio and is like, what is she? She's
no. It's when Tina's dying there, and they're saying that they should put him out of his misery or whatever initially before they go with the potion idea. She tells everybody, no, don't. And then she turns to Aubrey Plaza and quietly says, don't. Yeah. And Aubrey Plaza's character just kind of like, okay.
So Mephisto may very well be pulling the strings and having her do.
But this explains a lot of what Aubrey Plaza's character has been, and even why she reacts the way she does in this episode. She said she doesn't recognize the road because she literally doesn't recognize the road that they are on. Yeah. She is not concerned with her own safety when everybody else is in danger because she knows she's not going to die because she can't.
Yeah. The outfits make more sense. Go back in the 90s and look at the pictures drawn of Death in the Marvel comics. So it's like,
well, even in the first,
them outfits ain't far off.
Even in the first episode, she wears that weird little black hooded outfit when she busts into Agatha's door.
Oh my God, she's wearing like a variation of Death's outfit.
And as it was pointed out, when she goes to Patti LuPone's character at the tarot, and the Death card is shown. The Death card is holding the curved dagger that she has as her weapon. And also has the flower little thing in its hand as well.
Yes.
So it's
now,
all.
Damn it, Agatha! Work on your dialogue.
Are you gonna tell? We're gonna tell.
You got a lot going. It's like Wanda.
No, you got the second one.
These are wonderful ideas.
Yeah.
These are great ideas. Can we get somebody in there that can write a fucking
So
script?
Funko Pop also spoiled another character's name. Obviously, the teen is Billy.
Oh.
Is definitely Billy. So, but I still don't think that defeats the possibility that it's also Agatha's kid.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But I mean, come on. I mean, we said it in the first one. We were adamant that that's. He looks just like the. I mean, they cast. The dude looks just like the comic book version of Wiccan. So, yeah. Anyways, so there you go. Thank you, Funko Pops.
All right, 5 more
Yeah.
episodes to find out what's going on with this Agatha
Yeah.
people.
Yep.
Yeah, and five more episodes to get the reveal we just gave you.
I didn't-
Death
and I-
is Rio and
And I believe the leaves are a lighter color from the end of this
Pink.
episode.
they were kind of pink.
So it's gonna be the air trial, whoever that relates
Who
to.
was the air one?
Most.
Oh no, the next one is the old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old lady. Yeah, because this is the one we saw where she's like looks like Glenda the Good Witch, which
Yeah.
is the speculation that it's all going to be like super witch tropes, and you know because she's the one that makes those comments all the time.
If Patty LuPone was allowed to choose her look for this episode, that is hilarious because she looks like Liza Minnelli.
Oh no, that was definitely purpose.
Who was her Broadway?
Definitely on purpose.
Little
Baby
bit.
went on. Yeah. It's like,
Hardcore.
hey,
But I love like each
She
one of
makes
the
a
witches
reference, too. She
look
makes
Yeah.
a
like
reference of it.
yeah. They don't look like the charmed witches,
No.
you know? Like it's like they all and I love the charmed witches, but it's like they all look so interesting and so kind of like they're their own person. Which helps because they haven't written them very good dialogue to define them as their own characters. So but this is the right cast for this show.
This
You know,
was a
there's no one is miscast.
Good placement for the Asian witch's storyline too, because I felt like she got the least characterization
Alice?
up to this point.
Yeah.
So it was good to bring. Because if
Well,
you'd have done it
if
any
she was
later,
the
you'd have
one-
been like, wait, who's
If
this
she was
bitch?
the one
Yeah.
that was we are introduced to her, she's working as a security guard. So she either is not a great witch or doesn't give a shit about witchcraft. Like if you're and so it was and then her coming into it was kind of like it was a little bit of you son of a witch, I'm in. So
Sin of a witch, I'm in.
but
Which you
the
can
I-
buy at T Public right now. We'll put the
there you go.
link in the-
it's like I called you
There
out.
you
I called
go.
you out last time. But if you put it in there.
But this episode really kind of just developed that character so much more. Where again, I didn't think the dialogue was very smartly written, but I really like that the concepts they were coming up with this for this character is just wonderful.
It's going to be interesting to see now whether or not the statement of the dialogue isn't written well holds up to the end, because it's a mixture of it's revealing stuff without revealing things blatantly, which makes it come off as being awkward.
And I want to say this. I've watched a lot of media for profit in 2024. You're not even in the bottom 50% with your dialogue.
Yeah.
Your dialogue is so much better.
No,
No,
it's
but
not
everybody sucks. That's not an excuse. It's not a fucking. That's not okay. That's not okay. We're not grading on a curve here. So there's good and bad. Sorry, you.
All
Just
right,
because
real
everybody
quick.
sucks.
If everybody
you
sucks, you
can.
look pretty good, but that's not okay. That's not all right. No.
Real
no.
quick before
I
we
paid for this product. Make it
wrap
work.
it up, we got a couple nerd things that are happening in the midst of this.
Yeah.
So anybody,
Including today, which I haven't seen it yet.
yeah, I was
We'll watch
gonna-
it. We'll watch it this weekend.
Which yeah, so today
What?
we have Joker 2 dropped today.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, technically it's Friday, but yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'm sure 3 of 4 of us will probably have seen that by next week, and we'll have some comments.
Well, no, that's not what I was referring to. There's something more important in the current nerd world.
okay. Well,
Today was the drop of the Vox Machina season 3.
oh, it dropped today.
The third.
Oh, I didn't know that.
October
Okay,
3rd.
all right.
Vox Machina. The Legend
Vox
of Vox Machina.
Machina.
Yeah, we talked about the first season a while ago. It's the
one
Critical
bit-
Role Dungeons and Dragons style,
Yeah.
very vulgar cartoon.
The-
It's very it's
Based
great.
off on the first season of Critical Role's session.
It's so
Critical
good.
This particular Critical Role being hosted by Matt Mercer.
Yeah.
Who runs as the GM for Campaign.
There's just
All right.
yeah,
So they
James-
basically just
James has
they took
no
the campaign,
fucking clue.
translated into an animated version.
Yeah, it's good. Check out the
All
first
right.
episode. It's definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
done.
Megalopolis.
Oh God.
I can't.
No, there is.
I figured James would have something
all right,
to say about
gentle,
this.
gentle.
Here we go.
So Jared's gonna review himself on these episodes because no one
Megalopolis
else
is a
is
movie.
watching this.
Okay.
And anybody watching this in the future, there was an entire generation of people that believed Francis Ford Coppola was talented, and that's nice. It's okay. And so, at one point, I thought he might have been talented. I watched Jack, and I said maybe I was wrong. God, Quentin Tarantino has a horrible old statement, which is directing is a young man's game, which is why he was always like, I was going to do 10 and then get out, because no director was good in the last, 20 years of their existence, which can be debatable. Clint Eastwood's a piece of shit. Unforgiven, he was like fucking 70, and it's amazing.
That's
it's just
great.
like perfect. So it's hard to say what works and what doesn't work, but Megalopolis, everything I've seen,
Wait, what is that movie called again?
Megalopolis.
Megalopolis,
Megalopolis.
Megalika High, Megahine
Hey, that is so appropriate for you to be doing right now. Can you turn him green
Fucking
real
yeah,
fast?
fucking,
Sorry, go on.
fucking
If you all
long live Gene.
if you all want to watch Megalopolis, there is a pitch meeting. The series pitch meeting has it is their episode this week. That movie. I'm not seeing the movie anytime soon. Maybe I'll see if it comes on streaming. But
I mean, I've only seen some clips.
But watch that, and I'm pretty sure it sums it up well enough. It'll sure
Oh
including.
no, I'm going to the movies because
God.
I hope that they have a motherfucker that stands up and does the thing.
Oh fuck!
I need that. I need that to happen. I need to see that in real life.
Be the change you want to be in the world.
I hope they let me
you
do
gotta
it.
be the person.
I
now.
hope they're like, hey, does somebody want to do this part? I would love to. I would love to.
There you go,
Please.
done and done.
Please.
What are they gonna do when you get it?
He would.
What are they gonna do when it
smoke
does go streaming?
Yeah, what are they gonna do? They're just gonna have you stand up. They're gonna like text you.
They don't have
script.
the artistic integrity of a Joe Dante and Gremlins 2 theory. So like they will not record a new version. Like there's no money because ain't nobody watching this pile of monkey
Do
shit.
you hear what
I
I
think we need
hear?
to. I don't know. I'm gonna go see it. It might be the greatest thing there ever was.
All right.
But based.
I saw Cats in the theater, and I never once thought I would go see Megalopolis.
Did you see?
I saw
pre-erased
Cats,
buttholes?
motherfucker. Cats.
Did you see the pre-erased buttholes version?
Magical Mr.
I
Mistopheles.
saw After Butthole. I
Ah.
saw AB. It was.
That's AB.
I didn't get to see the cats in all their asshole gloriness.
Dang, that's got to be out there.
But don't worry, it still sucked, even with the buttholes gone. Like it's not like
Still sucked, it
that
just
made
didn't suck,
Cats
asshole.
watchable.
Rebel followed around on her fat ass as a
Alright,
cat the entire time.
All right, guys. Well,
Are
we
you
will be
not
back
entertained?
next week
Yep.
for episode 5 of Agatha All Along, and
Hell
we'll
yeah.
we'll see if we've seen some of these things, and we'll have some comments.
Mm-hmm.
Until next week, I am Smoking Phat J.
I am Matty Lapone.
I'm the team.
Yep.
Hey, he got it this time. I'm Rio Miranda.
You guys like, subscribe, grab one of those t-shirts, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Bye.
Look at that. Look at she gangster.